Desperate to prove his quality and value to the Chaos Pantheon, Be'lakor leads his legion in an ambitious campaign against the elves of Hysh. Looking to strike down the Great Archmage Teclis and his celestial companion, Celennar, the Dark Prince has constructed a devious plan with the help of Kairos Fateweaver. However, the Lumineth Realmlords are not easily fooled and have sought to prepare themselves for any tricks the demons may try to play. With sunmetal weapons honed, the disciplined ranks of elves look out across the battlefield at the demonic legions, and as the drums of war sound, these two bitter enemies prepare to sacrifice everything to achieve victory.
Hello and welcome to Season of War. Today we're playing an exciting game of Age of Sigmar. Tyler, our good buddy from across the country, has flown 4 hours just to come on the channel for a game. Not really. We have a GT this weekend in Toronto, so a Red Harvest GT. We're both playing that.
Yes.
Kicking off tomorrow, so we're gonna get some practice in. But just as a couple of quick announcements, as normal, we're using our printable scenery terrain. Always want to give a shout out to X Planet where we did all our models and stuff. And then always want to give a big thank you to our premium members who are the main backbone of the channel, supporting us, letting us do all this crazy stuff, play lots of games, and continuing to upgrade the armies and put more work into the channel and everything. So if you want to go a step further in helping to support the channel, you can hit the join button below the video to learn a little bit more about the premium membership and get access to more battle reports, do an extra run every week, as well as you get instant access to our entire backlog of premium battles. But just the normal like, share, subscribe obviously helps us a ton in terms of helping more people find the content and all that, so we really appreciate all the support we've been getting. But all that said, looking at the match today, we are playing one of the matches from the tournament that we're at tomorrow.
Yes.
So this is Feral Foray, so 6 objectives on the table, 3 in each of our zones. And this is one where we can burn objectives, but not like power and numbers. You can only burn 1 objective a turn, and it can only be your opponent's.
Yes.
So a little more restricted, which is a good balancing thing. Power and numbers can be pretty polarizing, but it should be a good battle here today. Tyler, do you want to take us through your army first?
Yeah, howdy. So I'm playing Legion of the First Prince here, which is from the Broken Realms Be'lakor book. In my army, I have my general here, which is the Bloodthirster of Insensate Rage. He has the Ruinous Aura, so that will be an 8-inch, 5-up ward save, wholly within 8 inches of this model here. And he also has the Armor of the Pact, which is rerolling saves only in combat, so not so good against the Sentinels. I have Kairos Fateweaver here. I have the Bladebringer Herald on Hellflayer. This unit here has my second artifact from the Warlord Battalion, and it's the Fourfold Blade, which will be 5s and 6s are D3 mortal wounds each. And it also has the spell, the Flaming Weapon. Per the new FAQ, that can be given to the mount now. I have the Demon Prince of Khorne, and I have Be'lakor the Dark Master himself over here on the far left side.
Yeah, and you'll actually probably notice if you've been watching the channel, we have actually played your list on the channel before. So obviously we talked a lot, even from across the country.
Yes.
And Ridge was talking to you about Legion lists. So Ridge ran your list on the channel before. But here we have the master himself here to pilot it.
Okay, we'll see. But I also have for battle line units, 2 units of Fleshhounds here, which are battle line in Legion of the First Prince, and a unit of 10 Pink Horrors here in the front.
Nice.
And that fills out the army at 1995 points. A little bit too high to get the triumph in this matchup, but it is what it is.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, yeah, no, I'm actually really excited to test this matchup. I don't think I've played Legion with my Lumineth yet, so good practice going into tomorrow.
Yes.
So you are going to be the only Legion player there, so hopefully we don't have to face each other then.
Yeah, hopefully not. This is going to be tough too.
Yeah. But going through my Lumineth list, this is what I'm taking to the tournament, but a little different than what I've typically been running. I've been playing a lot of Iliatha with 50 Sentinels in Teclis. Here, kind of just mixing it up a little bit more. Wanted to throw in some of my favorite units like the Dawn Riders, Lord Regent. Still a strong list, a little bit more of a toolbox, less of just a direct hammer with the Sentinels, but it should be a good, still strong army, no doubt. Going through my list, I'm running Zytrek today. So this gives me an extra +1 to cast a spell on Bind, which is really strong. Know an extra spell on my Lord Regent, and have an amazing artifact on the Lord Regent. But looking at the army itself, I have 2 units of Wardens, 120 block, 110, and then a unit of 30 Sentinels and a unit of 5 Dawn Riders, all of which become battle line because of the Wardens. So all 4 units are battle line, and then I have the Lord Regent, as I mentioned before, who is my general, has the command trait as well as the artifact, which with Teclis gives him a 4-up ward save, which is pretty good. Yeah. And then I do obviously have Teclis here on the board, so he's a good third of my army. Got to get a lot of work out of him. Gives me a lot of reliability and protection against spell casting. So hopefully that'll come up big. But that's pretty much it. I did have everything in a battle regiment, so I am a 1-drop in this list, which means I did have choice here.
Yes.
So in this case, I do think I'm going to take first turn here. Not surprising with Lumineth, but doubly Be'lakor makes me want to do that, so I don't get Be'lakored for double.
2 turns in a row.
Exactly. So I'll take it here. We'll see what you want to do on turn 1, but otherwise, we'll just be jumping into Lumineth turn 1.
The Lumineth battle tactic is Monstrous Takeover. Teclis and the Bloodthirster both fail heroic leadership. Be'lakor uses the Dark Master on the Sentinels, and they are unable to cast it in the hero phase. The Lord Regent casts Greater Power of Hysh on the Sentinels, Wardens, and Dawn Riders. The 10 Wardens cast the Power of Hysh but are unbound. Teclis casts Total Eclipse. Teclis casts Guiding Flurries on the Sentinels. Teclis casts Protection of Teclis, but is unbound. Teclis casts Mystic Shield, but is unbound. The Sentinels are unable to shoot because of the Dark Master. The Lumineth hold 3 objectives and achieve their battle tactic, scoring 4 points. Wait, really? That's your whole turn? You didn't even move!
All right, so Lumineth turn 1. You would barely know that I had a turn 1 from if you're just looking at it. I knew you were going to Be'lakor something. I was expecting either the Sentinels or Teclis. You went for the Sentinels, which are the offensive threat, whereas Teclis, shutting down my magic, you could do because he's a big buff piece for me defensively. But you did get a couple unbinds with Kairos, which obviously you need a 6, which were big for you. Though I did get a solid amount of casting off. We're using the terrain rules here today, so I have 2 pieces of mystical terrain, including my shrine. So in Zytrek, a lot of my wizards were like +3 to cast here, which obviously would love on Teclis, but 10s are still pretty good. So pretty much just got a bunch of Power of Hishes off. I could have thrown some Dawn Riders in to kill some pinks or something, but it just didn't really feel worth it because I would be giving them away. I might keep you further back for a turn, but I'd rather have a piece that can threaten your battlefield, late game or later that you have to be worried about. So my army didn't move effectively, besides just kind of shuffling my Dawn Riders around. And really, I gave my Sentinels +6-inch range, just in case you failed Be'lakor's ability, but they didn't get to move. Now, you failed the ability on their movement,
correct,
but not on their shooting. So. Yeah, didn't get to shoot in the end, and so no action really.
So I did get some lucky unbinds. Be'lakor was working, but I wasn't ready for the +6-inch range on the Sentinels, and I could have lost one of my chariots or something here if Be'lakor failed the Dark Master roll. So I got a little lucky there.
Yeah, well, it's I feel like one of those underutilized spells, right?
Yes.
And it's so good. The +1 hit is also great because it lasts through like Unleash Hell in that. So not that they really care because they're doing the mortals. And they weren't able to spellcast, but I did get the Power of Hysh on them from the Lord Regent.
Excellent.
With all his buff, and then +1 from Teclis and Zycheck each, and then +1 from Mystical. I was casting at +4. So that was pretty sweet. I like that. But that's pretty much it for my turn. I do hold 3 objectives, so I get hold 1, hold more. Sorry, I did hold 1, hold 2, but not hold more because you also have 3. And I get my battle tactic of Monstrous Takeover.
Yes.
I was already on the objective. That was a safe one, I felt, because if you did Be'lakor Teclis, he's already on there.
Mm-hmm.
So I get 4 points, but that's it. And we'll see, I guess, if we get into the action on your turn.
Legion.
So jumping into, Legion, turn 1.
The Legion battle tactic is Ferocious Advance. The Demon Prince fails heroic leadership, but Teclis succeeds. The Demon Prince uses Bloodslick Ground. Kairos casts Metamorphosis, but is unbound. Be'lakor casts Arcane Bolt, but is unbound. The Bladebringer casts Flaming Weapon. Kairos miscasts the Master's Command and takes 2 mortal wounds. Be'lakor casts Mystic Shield, but is unbound. The Bladebringer summons 10 Demonettes with Unyielding Legions. The Legion hold 3 objectives and achieve their battle tactic scoring 5 points. You guys know this is called Warhammer, right? Where's the action?
All right, Legion of the First Prince turn 1 is completed here. It was decent. I was able to complete my battle tactic, which was Ferocious Advance, but I wasn't able to complete it by casting Metamorphosis for a bonus point. I moved Be'lakor up here on the flank, but he's still within 9 inches for the shrug. Mm-hmm. He's scoring this objective here with the dogs. I activated my Khorne Demon Prince, so an 18-inch Holy Within aura will be half run, half charged to protect my back flank. And I've secured this objective. I was able to score, roll on 3d6, I was able to get 10 plus, and take this objective over here with a unit of 10 Demonettes summoned from my Hellflare here. And that was the end of the turn.
Big deal. Obviously, you get to hold more there because of it.
Yes.
So you're pulls that 1 point lead.
1 point lead,
which is obviously big.
Yes.
Right? Yeah. Especially like 2 armies that are neither's committing, so feeling each other out. Gonna be a good tactical game.
There's been no damage yet.
Yes.
1 turn, no damage.
Yeah.
So.
For sure. No, that's not true. Kairos dealt 2 damage to himself.
There was a miscast by Kairos.
Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah. So he took 2, but that's about it so far. So not too much bloodshed yet. But yeah, I think that's pretty much it. Again, positioning, a lot more positioning than I did.
Yep.
You store that one, so that's big. But I think otherwise we can jump into a priority roll for turn 2. That's a 3 and a 2 for you. So I will go ahead and take the turn here then. Sure. Obviously, taking first, you like to keep the priority order the same if you can. And there's giving it away would let you store this again and burn it. Mm-hmm. So hopefully I can reinforce that. And yeah, that's pretty much it. So otherwise, we'll be jumping into Lumineth, turn 2.
The Lumineth battle tactic is Conquer. Teclis casts Protection of Teclis. The Lord Regent casts Greater Power of Hysh on the Sentinels, Wardens, and Dawn Riders. The Sentinels cast Total Eclipse. The Wardens cast Power of Hysh. Teclis casts Mystic Shield on the Wardens. Teclis casts Guiding Flurries on the Sentinels. Teclis casts Transporting Vortex on the Dawn Riders. The Dawn Riders cast Overwhelming Heat on the Demon Prince. The Bladebringers use all-out defense. The Sentinels use all-out attack but only deal 4 damage to the Bladebringer. Wait, only 4 damage from 30 Sentinels? The Lumineth hold 3 objectives and achieve their battle tactics, scoring 4 points.
All right, so Lumineth turn 2. Again, not a ton going on. Starting to spread out a little bit. Really, like you said during your recap, you're playing pretty defensive, covering your bases, not giving me too much. And so exposing anything just opens it up to a counterattack and throws it away, which Lumineth, like, you have a couple chaff units. All my units I need to keep alive for the most part. So I'm gonna obviously have to make up the points somewhere. Working on trying to kill some stuff this round, didn't quite do it. I had an interesting potential play. Actually, I teleported my Dawn Riders so that they could cast a spell in range, because you're out of range of most of my spells. Because of Zytrek, I have both Overwhelming Heat as well as Lambent Light, which is their chosen spell. So I could have done Lambent Light on a target after I teleport them to get that reroll shooting. I opted not to do that. I went for Overwhelming Heat to have the movement of the Bloodthirster. The reason I did that, I kind of wanted to neutralize him to some extent. I knew if I shoot at him, even with Lambent Light, very good chance he lives because of the 5-up ward save. So I went for the Overwhelming Heat, which is a guaranteed kind of way to slow him down. And then I put all my shooting into the Hellflare. Rolled really well on my shots for the mortals, but you rolled really well in response on your ward saves.
Yeah, the Ruinous Aura here.
Yeah, so that was huge. So in the end, I think you were making 12 saves and taking 4 wounds in the end or something like that. So your Hellflare is still alive, so not too shabby. I did take Conquer, and I take this objective just by moving Teclis on here. So I'm in a solid position. Lumineth is never happy when they have to like kind of break out of their castle. And between the train and just the mission being so spread, obviously, forces me to a little bit. You pushing this flank means I kind of had to answer, so not super thrilled. Pretty defensive though across the board now. You will have opportunities to take objectives and a potential double, but hopefully the have movement will keep your Bloodthirster from wreaking too much carnage.
Just 5 inches now.
Yeah, but that's pretty much it, and we'll jump into Legion turn 2.
The Legion battle tactic is Monstrous Takeover. Kairos uses Heroic Recovery, healing 1 wound, and Teclis fails Heroic Leadership. The Demon Prince uses Bloodslick Ground. Kairos casts Gift of Change, but is auto-unbound by Teclis. Kairos casts the Master's Command on the Bladebringer. Kairos casts Mystic Shield on himself. Be'lakor casts Enfeebling Foe, but is unbound. Be'lakor casts Arcane Bolt, but is unbound. The Bladebringer casts Slamming Weapon, but is unbound. Can anybody cast a spell in this game? The Dawn Riders use Redeploy, moving 1 inch. Be'lakor stomps the Dawn Riders, dealing 1 mortal wound. The High Warden uses his Moonfire Flask, killing 2 Demonettes. The Wardens use All Out Defense and then Aether Quartz for heightened reflexes. The Bladebringer kills 5 Wardens. The Dawn Riders deal 3 damage to Be'lakor, but 2 damage are allocated to the Horrors. The Demonettes use All Out Defense and the Wardens kill 6. Be'lakor deals 2 damage to the Dawn Riders. The Wardens use the Indomitable Triumph. The Legion of the First Prince hold 3 objectives and achieve their battle tactic, scoring 4 points.
All right, back with Legion of the First Prince, turn 2. Was able to Monstrous Takeover, use my general here. He was half movement from Overwhelming Heat before, so he just stuck right here to give a 5+ ward save to Fateweaver, and then also secure the bonus objective. I moved Fateweaver in range of the Sentinels because I'm trying to shut down power of Hysh next turn. I was able to get into combat over here, but the Wardens were able to prevent me from taking the objective by only losing a few.
Yeah, I did all out defense on them and then spent their Aether Quartz, so they get that one time per game to be super tanky.
And all that went through was the mortal wounds from Fourfold Blade. All the other attacks, I think only 2 damage went through in total. Be'lakor got into combat here and did a total of 2 damage. So Shining Company once again mitigated 4 attacks from Be'lakor.
Oh yeah, that was huge.
Such a great ability.
Yeah.
They also in return actually hit quite well, but Be'lakor is able to shrug the wounds here to the pinks. Up by 1 point here still and going into turn 3 priority.
Yeah, right. Another big roll.
Yep. All right, man.
That's a 1, so unless you roll a 1,
5.
You do not, so you'll have
I gotta
choice.
take it.
Okay. And with you taking the turn, I do get to burn an objective. So I guess let's make it interesting. I think I'm gonna burn this middle one here.
Sounds good.
Was the open one, but I mean, try and keep you spread wide, have to cover all the bases, but otherwise we'll be jumping into Legion turn 3.
The Legion battle tactic is Broken Ranks. The Bladebringer uses their Finest Hour, and Teclis uses Heroic Leadership. The Demon Prince uses Bloodslip Ground. Kairos casts Gift of Change, but is auto-unbound by Teclis. Kairos casts Acquiescence on the Wardens. Kairos casts Metamorphosis, but is unbound. The Bladebringer casts Flaming Weapon. Be'lakor casts Enfeebling Foe, but is unbound. Be'lakor casts the Master's Command on himself. Kairos summons 5 pink horrors with Unyielding Legions. Be'lakor roars at the Dawn Riders. The Wardens use all out defense, and the Demon Prince deals 2 damage to them. The Bladebringer finishes off the Wardens. The Dawn Riders deal 2 damage to Be'lakor and 2 damage to the Pink Horrors. The Dawn Riders use their Aether Quartz for heightened reflexes, but Be'lakor finishes them off. The Legion hold 3 objectives and achieve their battle tactics, scoring 5 points.
Welcome back. The end of Legion turn 3.
Yep.
And I was able to remove the Dawn Riders with Be'lakor's attacks, and I selected Broken Ranks on the unit of Wardens that was damaged, and I was able to take them out, but once again, without a monster, so no bonus point there. I scored this objective, and I chose not to burn the objective at the end of my turn for an additional point. I'm hoping to hold on to that for maybe another turn.
But still, 5 points for the turn is big.
It's big.
Yeah.
Another thing is I failed my summon the previous turn, but this time I was able to bring 5 more pinks on here to protect my flank from possible teleport or something like that. So I was able to do that, and these dogs are just over here being good boys over here. So
yeah. Just holding down the floor.
They're just holding it down. Other than that, I'm left pretty open here, but one thing to remember for the following turn is Blood Slick Ground from the Khorne Demon Prince is active, so have run and charge within 18 inches of him.
Which is good, but hopefully we can avoid it. And otherwise, we'll be jumping into Lumineth turn 3.
The Lumineth battle tactic is Bring It Down. The Lord Regent uses their finest hour, and Be'lakor uses heroic leadership. The Lord Regent casts Greater Power of Hysh on the Sentinels and Wardens. Teclis casts Storm of Searing White Light, dealing 3 mortal wounds in total. That's not much. Teclis casts Protection of Teclis, but is unbound. The Sentinels cast Total Eclipse, but are unbound. Teclis casts Howling Gale on Be'lakor. Teclis casts Laminate Light on Be'lakor. The Wardens cast Speed of Hysh, but are unbound. The Sentinels deal 19 damage to Be'lakor, who passes 9 to the Horrors. Teclis deals 2 damage to the Bladebringer. The Wardens kill Be'lakor and deal 7 damage to the pink horrors. The Wardens use all-out defense as Be'lakor attacks because of the Master's command, dealing 2 damage. The Lumineth hold 2 objectives, kill a monster, and achieve their battle tactic, scoring 5 points.
Alright, so Lumineth turn 3. It's definitely a close, interesting game. Here, I doubled down on throwing everything into Be'lakor, just to get rid of him, and then obviously, I potentially overkilled him a ton, because he has a pass off, but the good thing is it actually really takes down your horrors too at the same time.
Correct.
So it's not like it's wasted damage. So yeah, kind of obviously put a bunch of wounds there too, but did take down Be'lakor. So that's my battle tactic plus slaying a monster. The play I went for with Teclis, I was thinking I was just going to keep him over here. Went for a big Storm of Searing White Light to try and take a bunch of stuff down, but I think I got very minimal damage in the end. I think I did 4 or 5 damage, max. At that point, I should have pivoted Teclis, just moved him over here to be more defensive. But I was thinking, I'll throw him into combat, I'll kill the Demon Prince of Khorne because I can activate 2 units. Forgetting he fights at the start of the combat phase, by the time I got to the charge, remembered that, so if I throw him in, he's potentially getting 6 to 8 wounds on Teclis, and then Teclis is very susceptible on your turn. Whereas now you still have the chance to go into him, but he's at least full health, full bracket, better chance of living to the next turn. But I don't obviously take that objective back. I do hold 1, hold 2. So I did 5 points this round, which is big. Couldn't really do, again, without Storm of Searing White Light doing much over there, there was no opportunity. I should have kind of retreated Teclis more defensive. Again, decided not to go in, so he's a little bit of a sitting duck. And that could be big, but especially depending on priority here.
Here we go.
So we can jump into it. That's a 5.
That's a 1.
Okay, well, no, I'm gonna take it here. I gotta do some stuff with Teclis, and now I can kind of try and start pushing towards your side.
Yes, I think so.
But yeah, we'll see. We'll jump into it with Lumineth turn 4.
The Lumineth battle tactic is Broken Ranks. Teclis fails Heroic Leadership, and the Bladebringer uses Heroic Recovery, healing 2 wounds. The Lord Regent casts Greater Power of Hysh, but is unbound. Teclis casts Storm of Searing White Light, dealing 9 mortal wounds in total. There we go! Teclis casts Protection of Teclis. Teclis casts Laminate Light on the Demon Prince. Teclis casts Howling Gale on the Fleshhounds. The Wardens cast Power of Hysh but are unbound. The Sentinels cast Power of Hysh. The Demon Prince uses all-out defense. The Sentinels kill the Demon Prince and the Bladebringer. Teclis deals 1 damage to the Fleshhounds. Teclis fails to stomp. Teclis uses all-out attack and kills the Fleshhounds. The Lumineth hold 2 objectives, achieve their battle tactic with a monster, scoring 6 points.
All right, so Lumineth turn 4, big winning priority.
Big turn.
Big turn out, with what I accomplished as well. Pretty much this is what I was trying to do last turn of the Storm of Searing White Light and then go in, clean stuff up. But obviously I had to deal with Be'lakor too. I did split my sentinel shooting into like all 3 of your units to try and, I didn't want to kill the dog so I could get the bonus point with Teclis, but it let me finish off your 2 heroes pretty reliably.
Yes.
With all the shots there. And then, yeah, in the end, Teclis just went in to mop up, because I did do broken ranks on those flesh hounds. They had 5 wounds left when I went into combat. I rolled my claws first, only did 2 damage, so it was all down to the swords.
And
but I did it, yeah.
Yeah, it's huge.
Yeah, so that was big, and I did all out attack with Teclis because he is swingy, like just unreliable. We saw that first hit roll. I rolled a 3,
3 ones to wound.
Yeah, 3 ones to wound, so that was scary.
Yeah.
But it came through in the end, which is all I could ask for. And because of the priority, I got obviously the double back after you doubled me 2 into 3. So that really feel like it was a good swing. You do still have, obviously Kairos and the Bloodthirster are both big threats. You still have like 2 of your 3 biggest kind of scary threats on the board. But you know what, now that I was able to take that one back, the fact that I burned one means I'm sitting here on hold 1, hold 2, hold more. Got my battle tactic for 5, and with a monster for that 6th point, which that's big, as we were just talking about it.
Yeah, the decision for me not to burn that objective with that priority roll, if it goes to my favor, the additional scoring 1, 2, and more than the burn. But it's a risk I took, and it backfired a bit, but we're still playing here.
Yeah, oh yeah, lots of games still left, and no priority roll yet, because we're just going to go into Legion of the First Prince turn 4.
The Legion battle tactic is Savage Spearhead. Kairos uses Heroic Recovery, healing 1 wound, and Teclis uses Heroic Leadership. Kairos casts Mystic Shield on himself. Kairos casts the Master's Command on the Bloodthirster. Kairos casts Gifts of Change, but is auto-unbound by Teclis. The Bloodthirster uses At the Double. Teclis uses Redeploy and moves 3 inches. The Bloodthirster summons 10 Bloodletters with Unyielding Legion. Kairos and Teclis both roar at each other. Teclis uses the Aether Quartz for heightened reflexes, and Kairos deals no damage. Teclis deals 4 damage to Kairos. The Legion holds 2 and more objectives and achieve their battle tactic with a monster, scoring 6 points.
All right, we're back here with the end of Legion of the First Prince, turn 4, I believe.
Yep.
And what a turn. I chose Savage Spearhead for my battle tactic, and I was able to score that for the bonus with both monsters here.
Yep.
I moved up. My pinks made, at the end of the movement phase, I was able to summon in 10 more Bloodletters, some more bodies, and the pinks made a long 11-inch charge. Yeah. So 2 models plus that, I was able to secure that objective 2 for 1, 2, and more.
Yep, which is big. And then obviously, like you said, the bonus point for monsters stores you 6 to match my last turn.
So we're still alive here. A big priority coming up for turn 5.
Yep.
I screened out some objectives here, needing potentially speed of Hysh here to try to get into me, you know, a longer charge, stuff like that. But here we go.
Yeah, we'll jump right into it. That's cocked.
That's only a 2.
That's a 6.
There it is.
All right, well, it's going to be a big turn. Lots to play for. I'm down a point, so I have to make up that point and make sure you're not able to. But we'll see. Jumping into Lumineth, turn 5.
Here we go.
The Lumineth battle tactic is Savage Spearhead. Teclis uses their finest hour, and Kairos uses heroic recovery, healing 2 wounds. Teclis casts Storm of Searing White Light, dealing 4 mortal wounds in total. The Lord Regent casts Greater Power of Hysh on the Sentinels. The Sentinels cast Total Eclipse. Teclis casts Lambent Light, but is unbound. Teclis casts Overwhelming Heat on the Bloodthirster. Teclis casts Transporting Vortex on himself. The Wardens cast Metamorphosis on the Lord Regent. Ooh, cheeky. Kairos uses Redeploy, moving 4 inches. Teclis deals 6 damage to the Horrors. Kairos uses All Out Defense, and the Sentinels deal 5 damage to him. The Wardens use Forward to Victory, but fail their charge. The Lumineth hold 2 objectives and achieve their battle tactic with a monster to score 5 points.
Alright, so Lumineth turn 5. It's just scraping for everything. Big plays I was trying to do, again, just trying to score every possible point.
Yep.
The kind of easiest battle tactic was going to be Savage Spearhead, and I did actually end up casting Metamorphosis with the Wardens on a casting roll of 8 with 2 4s, which meant, again, Kairos dice coming up. If I had 1 3 or less, you could have Kairos dice it, and I don't get the bonus point. Which could really make or break the game.
Correct, yeah.
So I did end up getting Metamorphosis on my Lord Regent. I teleported Teclis away over there into the corner. I would have loved to throw him somewhere over here, but he was in such a position that he wouldn't be wholly within the territory. There wasn't room in that back corner, so that was like the only option. And I was also trying to kill Kairos here, just for that bonus point as well. It was just, more points. Literally 1 point could make or break it. So I moved my Wardens up to charge, but you redeployed, got a light of 4, so a pretty good redeploy. Which actually meant, again, I couldn't possibly, because it was an 8-inch charge.
Correct.
So I couldn't possibly make that charge with the Wardens because of Kairos. That you still have in that dice. And my Sentinels did 12 wounds, but with the 5-up ward from Ruinous Aura, you save around half of those.
All Out Defense plus the 5-up ward was able to get me there.
Yeah, so you took a bunch of damage, but not enough to kill you. You're still half health, I think.
I have 5 wounds left.
Oh, 5 wounds left, so pretty close. So maybe if you feel like charging Kairos into my Sentinels, I might get to Unleash Hell on him. But otherwise, there's not a lot of opportunity left in the game, but a couple plays. Big thing here is the Bloodthirster I did cast Overwhelming Heat on him, so he's half movement. And yeah, that's pretty much where we're at.
One thing to note, we both chose Prize Sorcery as our grand strategy for both these armies, and it looks like we're both going to be able to complete our major objective for our armies. So that's an additional 3 points each too.
Yeah. So really, I think the last big play is trying to making a play for my objectives if you can.
Yep.
And yeah, no heroes around for support there, but it's going to take some work. So with that, we'll be jumping into Legion of the First Prince, turn 5.
The Legion battle tactic is Conquer. The Bloodthirster and Teclis both use Heroic Leadership. Kairos casts the Master's Command, but is unbound. Kairos casts Arcane Bolt. Kairos casts Gift of Change but is auto-unbound by Teclis. Kairos summons 5 horrors using Unyielding Legion. The horrors deal 2 damage to the wardens. Kairos uses Oracle of Eternity to ensure the horrors made their charge. The Bloodthirster uses Forward to Victory and makes its charge. Kairos fails to roar, but the Bloodthirster stomps the wardens, killing 1. The wardens use all-out defense, but the Bloodthirster wipes them out and deals 8 mortal wounds to the Sentinels. Oh shit, we're doing this! The Sentinels deal 1 damage to the horrors. The horrors deal no damage to the Sentinels. The Sentinels use Inspiring Presence and the armies tie on the objective. The Legion holds 2 and more objectives, burn 1 objective, but fail their battle tactic, scoring 4 points.
All right, welcome back. What a turn. Turn 5. For my battle tactic this turn, I selected Conquer. My only option was to try to get to that middle objective. I was half moved on my Bloodthirster. I end up able to summon 5 horrors from behind with 3d6. I still had my fate dice left after the not needing to use it on the charge rolls the previous turn. So I was able to get the Horrors of Tzeentch, the Bloodthirster, and Kairos all into combat on the Wardens. I was lucky enough to spike on the Wardens, but it wasn't enough to control the objective at the end.
Yeah, so but you got 2 6s.
2 6s.
So 8 mortal wounds. Took a good chunk out of the Sentinels.
Yep. So we ended up both with 16 wounds total on that objective counting. So he retained priority of the objective, and I wasn't able to score.
And largely, like, I had 3 guys attacking your horrors.
Yep.
I had to attack, obviously, and normally the Sentinels do nothing, but they got 2 hits through those wounds. 3 guys, and you made 1 save. Otherwise, you would have split with a second horror, had 1 more die on the objective.
But
so you store, hold 1, hold 2, hold more, and then you're gonna burn this one for an extra point. Put you at 4, tying the game up.
Tying the game up. Prize sorcery scores for both of us, so 3 extra victory points. And we finish in a draw.
That's, the first draw. Great game.
Great game.
The first draw ever on the channel, I think.
It's fitting. 2 great armies playing against each other. Couldn't ask for a better result, really.
Yeah, and a really good tactical match. Good practice before. I mean, I'm tired already from that one, so rest a little bit tonight. Get ready for tomorrow. We all have 3 big games tomorrow. So
3 big games.
That's the thing, though. You don't have to practice hard, so your other games seem easy.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, no, that was a really close match. Tough one, back and forth. Some key priorities. Me winning the last 2 was really big. Those could have, potentially gone badly otherwise.
It just reiterates for me how important battle tactics are in AOS 3.0.
Oh yeah, for sure.
It's a chess match now.
Yeah.
So.
And that threat of the Kairos dice, obviously we played Kairos before on the channel, but it's like something you're always considering, right? Rather, it's like, oh, do I re-roll this cast just in case he uses a Kairos die? So this and that. And I was obviously really cautious about it, but that also meant you didn't have to use it until the end, and you had it still available at the end. You made those pink horrors in there.
Big charge.
Oh yeah.
And yeah, that dice, some people use it up first thing in the game, but there's times in the game when it can shift the balance. So.
Yeah, I find I use it early so I don't miss the moment kind of thing, but I end up using it maybe too early. But there's so many good opportunities here, and great plays all around. seeing the combo of everything, obviously you're very experienced with this army. Me and Ridge have both played it a couple times, but not near the same level. And you really saw how well oiled of a machine it was in terms of, you know, putting all the pieces in the right position. And like, even here, like you did expose your, you know, Demon Prince of Khorne rather, you know, or mid game, but there was just so many threats. I couldn't afford to shoot him. Otherwise I wouldn't have finished off Be'lakor.
Yeah. So,
you know, threat overload is a thing too. And even with Kairos, like you got super aggro with these guys at the end.
Yeah, the 5-up Ruinous Aura with 14 wound super monsters, the amount of damage with Finest Hour plus all-out defense that your opponent actually has to put into the unit to take it down is more than I think one would assume, I guess is what it is.
For sure.
It's a lot of damage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, and you did better than Ridge in your summons in this game. He hasn't had much luck, but you got a few off, 3 or, you know, 2 or 3.
I think I got 3 out of the 5.
Yeah, which is, you know, about average.
At 64% on average, around 64%
so
is what the army's summing at. So, but thank you for having me on the channel.
Yeah, no, it was a blast. It was a great game. Always nice to have those good close ones, right? That's what you always want. And good tactical battle with 2 very, like, deep armies in terms of the strategy now. Lumineth is strong. Obviously, Legion has its strengths too. But, like, you have a lot of control, and then I have had a lot of answers to a lot of things at times with just the depth of the spell lore
and unit selection.
Options.
Both armies have so many options unit-wise. You can go down a list of options where you can maybe change to each meta. So they both have that option. So
yeah, no, but this is a good one, and Kairos and Teclis were just battling, you know, with their magics.
The 2 best, you know, I feel they're going at each other, and you can't ask for anything better. Denying each other, letting spells go through. It played on the battlefield how you think it would play. It's a beautiful thing.
It was a good one. Anything else you want to mention, or?
Just a big thank you to the Season of War, everything that's going on. A big shout out to everybody at the AOS Coach Discord. You guys can find me there. Team Beatdown. We're trying to innovate and push Age of Sigmar forward, and that's what, with the help of Jordan and everybody, look out for Canada 2022.
Oh, yeah. Lots of great people in the community here and internationally. Like you said, AOS Coach, creating awesome content, being awesome pillars in the community. So, you know, we appreciate them. Obviously, like, you know, we wouldn't have met if not for that AOS, you know, Coach
of course.
Discord. So,
and we're out here now, and tomorrow's a big day. So
yeah, we'll have lots of fun.
Yeah.
But anyways, we'll wrap it up here. So thank you guys for watching. Hope you enjoyed this match. It was a crazy one. But otherwise, don't forget to hit like, share, subscribe, all that fun stuff. And if you want to go a step further, you can join the premium membership and see even more epic battles. But that's it for now.
Cheers.
We'll see you soon in another battle report.